what is happening on the subnet. They have a link to the website. They have a GitHub. They're updating the GitHub. They have an X account. They have an active Discord. There's no giant whales on the subnet. There's some incentive centralization. I can see they have commit reveal enabled. They have a giant amount locked, and they do not have 100% miner burn, so the subnet is working and they're nowhere near deregistration. All that about the subnet just by glancing at these red flags here. Hey, this is Travis. I created TAOFlute.com here, and I get questions and comments all the time about people are like, oh, I didn't know this existed. Where do you find this? So in this video, I'm going to go over everything that's available on the overview page on TAOFlute right now. Now, some of this might be in TAOFlute Premium, but most of it is available for free. So let's get started going from left to right. This first column here, this is the subnet ID number. If you click on that, it will open up a whole bunch more information about the subnet. I use this for researching much quicker, but that's not what this video is about. Let's get back to the overview here. Now, the subnet name here, if you hover over the subnet name, you get a little description about the subnet. This description was written by the subnet owner themselves. At some point, I might update this to be like a little bit more descriptive for the average investor. But for right now, it is just taken directly from the chain information. Then we have the website. This is something that subnet owners can update if they choose on chain. Often newer subnets won't have updated their website. If that happens, it's just going to be a red flag here. As you can see here, we've got flags and links. That's what all these are. If you click on the website, it will bring you to the website. Same with the GitHub icon here. If you hover over it, it gives you a little bit more information. For instance, here we can see there's around 9 code lines per day that were written in the last 30 days. And then of course, if there's been no updates recently on their GitHub, it turns red. Then the next icon is the X icon. So if a subnet owner wants to, they can put their X handle on their GitHub. If that happens, then it is picked up by TAOFlute and the TAOStats API. So any website that's using the TAOStats API is going to have access to your X handle there as well. Not too many subnets have updated it yet, but I think it's a really good thing to do because it just gets your X handle on many, many websites, driving more traffic to your subnet. Now it'll turn red if there hasn't been any activity in the last 30 days. Next is the Discord icon. If you click on that Discord icon, it will bring you to the Discord for that particular subnet. Now, there's no investment discussion allowed here, but you can monitor the situation and just see what's going on. If miners are complaining, or if there's problems with validators, or if there's new updates, often that sort of thing shows up in the Discord. So it's the best place to stay up to date if you're trying to watch a subnet very closely. So of course, hovering over that gives us the number of days since the last message from a team member on that particular Discord. Next, we have the whale flag. This tells us who the biggest holder is and how much they could crash the price if they sold all of their alpha in the subnet. You can click on this. Again, all of these are links, so they link you to the source information here. So if I wanted to find out who the biggest holder is for IOTA here, I can click on this link. I can see how much they have and everything. And of course, hovering over it tells me a little bit more information. It tells me that the price could crash 17% if the largest holder dumped. The whale flag also incorporates how much of that top holder's alpha is currently locked, and it incorporates that into the percentage here. So if we look at Vanta, for instance, they have an 8% whale, which takes into account the 600,000 alpha currently that is locked for the subnet. So they cannot sell that 600,000 alpha unless they indicate their intent to do that months ahead of time. And so it shows on the screen here that there's 240,000 available alpha for them to sell, and that would crash the price 8%. So the nice thing about this flag is the subnet owner has control over it just like they do on every other flag. If they want to, they can lock up their alpha if it was red. And in Vanta's case, it was red. They had a giant amount of alpha, and they have since locked a giant amount of alpha, and so the red flag went away. The next column here is the incentive centralization flag. This one by itself isn't necessarily a bad thing, but combined with other red flags could mean a problem. When it's yellow, it means that there's one miner that has over 50% of all miner emissions. So it could indicate that the emissions on the subnet are not really being distributed in a fair way. If it's yellow like this, it means that it's probably okay, but maybe worth asking the subnet owner about because it's over 50% going to one miner. However, if we scroll down and find one that's red here, there's one miner on this subnet that is receiving all of the miner emissions. This is extreme centralization of emissions, and it still might be okay if it's like a winner takes all subnet and you can go through and check the code and make sure that that's actually what's happening. But this red flag shows up for corrupted subnets where the subnet owner has a lot of weight and they're basically just giving all the alpha to a key that they own. So that's why I say that by itself, it's not the end of the world, but combined with other red flags, like maybe there's no repo or something like that, it starts to mean, okay, there's some issues, some serious issues with this subnet. This next column here is the APY leakage flag. Basically just whether or not the subnet has commit reveal on. When a subnet does not have commit reveal on, that means that there could be weight copiers on the subnet, which basically can dilute the amount that stakers receive. So the APY on that subnet might be lower than it would otherwise be. So it's not per se like a terrible red flag to have, but it's something that, you know, the subnet owner should probably address at some point. And then there's this lock red flag here. This is the amount of locked alpha. This is a very new flag because locks just came in on Bittensor. And so right now I have it set to if the amount of alpha that is locked in the subnet is less than 5% of the total alpha outside of pools, then it's going to be red, indicating that, you know, the subnet owner isn't really maybe that invested. And so what we've seen across every subnet that has ever dumped so far, every rug, is they have had 0% of their alpha locked. And I go on and on about this in other videos, but basically I'm not going to invest in subnets where the subnet owner does not lock their alpha because it exposes me to rugs. Of course, the locked alpha flag is also a link, and it links to the conviction app here, TAO Stats Made, which I think is probably the best way to visualize conviction outside of TAOFlute. I say outside of TAOFlute because if you look at the drill down here, again, this is TAOFlute Premium, you can actually see that the conviction lock over time as it grows on the subnets that you're interested in looking at. Then this column here is the 100% miner burn column. If the miner burn on a subnet is at 100%, it means that nothing is happening on the subnet. No miners are getting paid. It's an indication that the subnet is just turned off right now. And then finally, this last one here, it's the deregistration flag. It tells you how close a subnet is to deregistration. So if you want to, what you can do is you can head up to the flags and links column header here and click on that, and it will sort by deregistration rank ascending here. So this number 1 here means that this subnet is most likely right now to get deregistered if another subnet owner purchases a new slot. So there's a bit of a risk if the subnet you're investing in is somewhere near the bottom. And so that's why we have this number all the way up to 10. And then from there on, you can still see it by hovering over it, but it's not necessarily as important as knowing when it's near the bottom 10. Now, I built TAOFlute for myself to use. So I want it to be as useful as possible. I want to stop having to waste tons of time with research. So one of the things that I added to this column as well is like, what about subnets that are immune in their immunity period? So we can sort by flags and links descending here, and we can see all the ones that are currently in their immunity period because they are blue here. If you hover over it, again, it tells you immunity days left, 35. It's all the information that I want to know about a subnet. And then lastly, it turns orange when the subnet is potentially going to get deregistered and there's very few immunity days left. So if I sort by price here, ascending again, we can see that this is the first subnet potentially to get deregistered. Here's the second one, here's the third, but there's one where the price is kind of close and they're coming out of an immunity soon, and that's this one here. So if you hover over this one, you can see immunity days left 3, and it has a low price, so that's why it's orange here. So of course we have the price here, the 30-day price. On this column here, we have the biggest commit in the last 2 weeks. You can click on that and it brings you to the actual source code of the commit. You can actually go and read through what was the biggest commit in the last few weeks. So it's great for keeping up with the subnets that you're interested in. This one here is the average number of code lines in the last month. Again, you can click on that and you can actually just go and visit their repository there. Again, if you hover over the little I here on each of the column headers, it gives you more information about what that column precisely is. And then you can also hover over the cell to give a little bit more information. So in this case, we're looking at the last team member's message from each subnet. So this is like the last subnet owner message, or at least somebody who works with the subnet owner. So you can see here, he said, yes, we released a new tag to resolve a breaking subtensor change, which has been applied. So that's like the latest from the subnet owner on that subnet. So I just need to hover over it on TAOFlute Premium to see that. I actually forgot to go over this graph here. This one is a little bit difficult to read, but basically you can think of it as a graph where the most recent date is on the far right here, and 30 days ago is on the far left. This is how often they've been committing to the repository. So we can see that about a week ago, Apex made a commit. Almost 4 weeks ago, Disperse made a few larger commits here. So this is the last 30 days. Same thing for this team Discord activity, just shows you generally how active is the team on their Discord. Then this column here is the number of days since the last X post from their X here. Again, this one here. And of course, you can just click on it to see more about their latest post. Remember, we can hover to get more information, and we can click to see the source information. Then this column here is the manual burns in the last 30-day measured in TAO. So let's look at, say, Vanta here has 156 TAO worth of their alpha that was burned over the last 30 days. Again, hovering over it, it gives you more information, how frequently this happens. The higher this number, the more that the subnet owner is pumping into the value of their token. And so for the burns here, I wish there was a good way to kind of visualize and see when burns are happening for subnets. Oh, wait, we did that on TAOFlute. If we click on this number here, it brings us to the TAOFlute news here. Again, this is a free dashboard as well, so you can go and visit it. And so you can see when Vanta here did burns on their subnet and for how much. You can click on them to get a bit more information and to actually find the extrinsic of when that happened. Again, I want to make everything super clear and show all the relevant information for investors on TAOFlute. So again, this dashboard is free. It actually has a lot more to it here. I don't want to get too deep into this dashboard, but we're just filtering to burns on subnet 8 right now. You can change the subnets you want to look at, and you can also change the types of news you want to look at. So if we set this to all, ooh, I didn't know that was happening. That's cool. Ridges is doing burns now. I had no idea. I guess that's just today. Nice. And so now I've set my news to just registration, subnet owner, wallet activity, and updates. So we can see subnet owners staking and transferring and alpha transferring. We can see changes to repositories and websites, subnet name changes, and subnet identity on chain and whatnot. And so with the news, you can really tweak it to exactly how you like it. Then just save the URL and say, okay, these are the things I really care about. I'm just going to refresh this page once a day and then just see what's the latest here. And so these three columns here are all about locks. Again, if you hover over top of them, you can get more information. And if you click on them, you can see source information. And so this first column here is the total alpha outside of the pool that has been locked as a percentage. This is that amount in TAO at their current price. And this column here is how much of that lock was done over the last 30 days. So using these three columns here, I have a really good idea as far as what's the latest on locks on subnets. Okay, we're getting very close to the end here. These three columns here are all monitoring of the subnet owner's wallet. This first one here is alpha transfers to or from the wallet. This one here is TAO transfers to or from the wallet. And this one here is subnet owner alpha staking or unstaking. A negative value means that it's going out, they're unstaking, and a positive value means there's alpha coming in or TAO coming in or TAO being staked. So this column here, I can very easily surmise that over the last 30 days, nearly 400 TAO worth of their alpha token was transferred out of the subnet owner's wallet. I'm not sure if it was sold in whatever wallet it got to. I could dig into it if I really wanted to. And then if I blow it up here a little bit, we can see this fourth column here about the subnet owner wallet activity as well. Is again one of these 30-day graphs here, similar to the team activity graph and the GitHub graphs. So it just shows me that these transfers out happened around once a week over the last 3 or 4 weeks. For subnet 3 here, we can see that 1.5 thousand TAO was transferred out of the subnet owner's wallet. That happened a couple weeks ago. And then we've got some other wallets like this one where there was a certain amount of alpha transferred in. So this was almost 100 alpha that was transferred into this subnet owner's wallet. There was 150 or so TAO transferred out of the subnet owner's wallet, and there was around 200 TAO worth of the alpha token that was unstaked in the last 30 days. And I can see when that happened on this graph here. Obviously, the colors of these columns match the colors of this graph here. So I can very quickly surmise what the subnet owner's wallet has been doing. I'll give you a couple more examples here. We've got subnet 19 here. They transferred out 500 TAO from their wallet, and they also unstaked 500 TAO worth of their alpha token. And they did that over the last 4 weeks here. I can see Add TAO has transferred out 177 TAO worth of their alpha. They do that almost every day, it looks like. So that must be to cover operating expenditures or something like that. So we can see patterns in the subnet owner wallet activity here. So I can really easily tell what's going on with the subnet owner's wallet. Of course, this can be very useful for investing and trading, just to give you an idea as far as like what you should maybe be asking the subnet owner about. It also looks fantastic for Lium, which I always go on about, because they're putting TAO into the wallet, their profits into the subnet owner wallet, and then they're doing giant buyback and burns. This is all super clear and easy once you know how to read it. Then we've got the liquidation haircut column here. This is the amount you stand to lose or gain if a subnet gets deregistered. Again, if you hover over it, you can see the liquidation price. This next column here is the age of a subnet in days. And again, just to show the power of using TAOFlute to quickly understand where a subnet's at. So just looking at Lium here, this second row here, I can see they have a link to the website. They have a GitHub. They're updating the GitHub. They have an X account that has recent posts. They have an active Discord. I can see that from this as well, but also the flags here. There's no giant whales on the subnet. I can see that there's some incentive centralization happening. 69% of all miner emissions are going to one key. That is news to me on the subnet, so I might go and investigate that, although it's not the end of the world. I can see they have commit reveal enabled, indicating that the APY on the subnet is probably as close to as high as it can be right now. And I can see they have a giant amount locked because of this green lock here, and they do not have 100% miner burn, so the subnet is working and they're nowhere near deregistration. I can see that they've been working and putting out lots of updates here, that they're very active on Discord as well. I can see how much they've locked in the last month here. It's way more than most subnets. If they had done any burns in the last month, I would see it here. And I can see that they've transferred out 180 TAO worth of their alpha token from the subnet owner wallet this month. They've deposited 1.4 thousand TAO into their subnet owner wallet, indicating their intent to eventually burn that probably. And we can see that they've also staked 166 TAO worth of their alpha token over the last 30 days, and we can see that in this graph. I can see that the subnet is almost 2 years old here, and that they have a nice liquidation haircut. So I know all that information. It was very easy to grasp. It took me less than 10 seconds to understand all that about the subnet just by glancing at these red flags and understanding a little bit more about the columns here. So TAOFlute is extremely powerful at giving you a very clear idea as far as what is happening on the subnet and if there's any potential problems. So keep in mind that almost everything in TAOFlute tries to have 2 things on it. Number 1, hover over top of it. There's going to be a lot more information than is visible already on the screen. And number 2, often it's a link to source information. So if you're interested in joining the Bittensor Alpha group and getting full access to TAOFlute, you can now do that through cryptocurrency. It took forever, but we finally got it done. So you can head on over to taotemplar.com/bag and you can join and sign up however you want with crypto or credit card. And I'll be very excited to have you aboard. And members have suggested ideas of things that we add to TAOFlute, and I've been adding those as well. So I'm just always hyped to have new people with new ideas that we can just constantly improve TAOFlute with.